Jimmy Kimmel's show was cancelled after controversial remarks. I'll share what he said and discuss if his cancellation is legal. Last Monday, Jimmy Kimmel talked about the Charlie Kirk issue on his show and made statements that enraged a part of the population. Huh?
We reached a new low in weekend news with the Make America Great Again crowd desperately trying to characterize the guy who killed Charlie Kirk as anything but one of them.
He also pointed out on his show how little Trump seemed to care about Kirk's death.
You can see how hard all of this has been for the president.
I'm sorry for your friend Charlie Kirk's passing. May I ask you something personal? How have you been handling things for the last day and a half, sir?
I think I've been doing very well, and by the way, over here on the right, you can see all these trucks. They just started construction on the new White House ballroom.
2 days later, Nexstar, which controls many local television stations and broadcasts American Broadcasting Company where Jimmy's show airs, said they would stop airing his program. In their words, Kimmel's statements were offensive and insensitive and do not reflect the values of the communities where the station operates. A couple of hours later, American Broadcasting Company announced that it would take Jimmy Kimmel's show off the air indefinitely. In other words, Nexstar forced American Broadcasting Company to cancel Kimmel. But is this legal? What about free speech? In the United States, freedom of speech is protected by the First Amendment of its Constitution. This lets people speak freely on any topic without fearing government persecution. This includes jokes about the president, political opinions of any kind, and even protects hate speech. In Mexico, the law works differently, but that's how it is over there. So, yes, viewpoints that we might consider offensive, like many opinions from Charlie Kirk or any joke from Kimmel, are protected. Be careful. The First Amendment only protects you from the government. Any private company can retaliate if it believes your opinions, even those shared on personal social media, impact it. Initially, it may seem removing Kimmel was legal, but this is where it gets complicated. Kimmel has criticized Trump for years, so the president has targeted him for a long time. In fact, when Stephen Colbert's show was suspended, he said the following: "I love that Colbert was fired. His talent was even less than his ratings. I heard Jimmy Kimmel is next. Interesting. Yes, but it gets worse." A few hours before Nexstar released its statement against Kimmel, the Federal Communications Commission chief who leads the supposedly non-partisan United States telecommunications regulator, Brendan Carr, said that Kimmel's comments seemed sickening to him. According to him, the Federal Communications Commission has remedies we could consider. Hours later, Nexstar issued a statement opposing Kimmel. This all makes sense when you learn Nexstar is seeking a merger with Tejna. It's a multi-million-dollar deal but requires Federal Communications Commission approval. This is very similar to the issue with Stephen Colbert's cancellation, since in the same way his company Paramount was looking to partner with another one called Skydance, another multi-million-dollar deal that also needed the blessing of Brendan Carr and the Federal Communications Commission. It's worth mentioning that Brendan is extremely loyal to Trump and has even been called his lapdog. Something that he apparently accepted without shame with this tweet that said, "Woof, woof." So, are we talking about the current government finding a legal loophole to censor? They can't cancel a show directly due to the First Amendment, but they can use the Federal Communications Commission to revoke licenses and block partnerships, which has been very effective and is likely to continue. Brendan said cleanup of shows isn't finished yet, and Trump just indirectly threatened Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers on social media. This is a rapidly changing topic, but I'll keep following it. Politics and entertainment are clashing more often. If you want all the context, follow me. I take pop culture seriously.